Gates with Northcraft Analytics, and welcome back to Metric of the Month. Today we're talking about percentage of problems with solutions or workarounds. And you may already be thinking, isn't the whole point of problem management to reduce workarounds and to find a root cause and eliminate that problem once and for all from the infrastructure? And yes, you're right. According to ITIL, according to the book, we should not be using workarounds. We should be finding solutions, finding root causes. But the reality of it all is that it takes a great deal of resources and time typically to find not only root causes, but really determine a solution to a problem. So in many shops, workarounds are still necessary for a certain amount of time at least, until resources can be allocated to finding the root or the solution to a particular problem. And again, a big reason for this is time constraints, FTEs available, resources available, and also many companies still struggle with setting a defined problem management process. And in many of our clients' data, we still see plenty of workarounds being used, and that is why this particular metric, percentage of problems with solutions or workarounds, is very valuable and useful for streamlining your problem management process. So let's take a look at our data here and let's dive in and see what we can find with this metric. So what you're seeing here is a typical problem management dashboard, and I have built this previously around our metric of the month, percentage of problems with solutions or workarounds. And this is just to give you an idea of what we're shooting for here today in a limited amount of time. So let's go ahead and see if we can get something built like this in real time. Let's go over and start a new dashboard, and we will go ahead and start with our main metric. I'm going to slide out my fields here so I can see them a little better, and I'm going to search for workaround. That should work in my metadata search. And now we're going to find our, there it is right here, percentage of problems with solutions or workarounds. And again, this is a KPI. So if you watched our previous videos, you understand that a KPI consists of a goal, a status, and a trend. And our status here is actually the value, and our goal is still the goal, and our trend is a time frame, a period of time. So we want to make sure we're using the right trend. So we're not going to use the one included in this KPI. We're going to go to our time fields. I'm going to search calendar, if I could spell it right. And down to date, I'm going to go to problem first reported date, and I'm going to use month. I'm also going to switch that to a KPI field, widget I mean, and there we are. There's our first widget. You can see we're in the green. Our goal is 90%, and this isn't splitting out both solutions and workarounds. This is including them all, but this is showing you out of all your problems, do we have something for them? And I think that's the big thing to address here, is that how many problems do we have that are completely unaddressed? So that's what this metric is really addressing. So now that we have that, let's dig in a little further. And now let's go ahead and take a look at the total number of problems with workarounds. I guess I should type workaround. Problems with workarounds. Here we go. We'll change this to a number card. And there we go. We can see we have 1379 problems with workarounds. And now, you may have guessed it, let's go ahead and see how many problems we have with solutions. Okay, we're under counts here, and we're going to click problems with solutions. Make sure we click off our previous widget so we don't change it. Now we have a new widget, problems with solutions, and let's go ahead and change that one to a number card as well. Excuse me. So we can see we out of that's pretty disparate there. That's a big difference. So only 23 problems with solutions and 1,300 problems with workarounds. Now let's go ahead. I think you saw it earlier. Let's just see how many problems we do have. And we're going to add problems total. Same deal as before. We're going to change that to a number card. And as you can see, out of 1,476 problems, 1,379 of them have workarounds, and only 23 have solutions. So that's a big deal. And now now we're starting to think, why is that? Why is that? And we hinted on it earlier in the intro, is that finding a solution takes a long time typically. And whether that's due to process or basic time constraints or resource constraints. So let's look at how long it's taking to find a solution. So I'm going to search for time 2. And let's go ahead and find our KPI. I believe we have it. Here it is right here. Average time to create a solution. Again, this is a KPI, so I'm going to insert my value and my goal. I'm also going to change this to a KPI card or a widget. And now again we need our time, so I'm going to type calendar. And I'm going to go down to problem first reported on date. I'm going to use month again, and there we go. So wow, look at that. The average time to create a solution is 550 hours. And this is well above our goal of 20, clearly. So the color is wrong here. We can go back and format it. Let's just fix that. It's a common thing. Sometimes you have to keep an eye open. And we're going to change that from high is good to low is good. And now there we go. It's in the red, and we know we have a problem. So we're starting to see a trend here, I would think anyway. So now let's go look at how long it's taking to create a workaround. We'll type time 2 again. And let's just use this here. Time to create a workaround. Average time. Perfect. Let's change that to a number card. And we are at 28 hours. So now we can see why we have such a disparate gap between number of problems with workarounds and number of problems with solutions. It's great and all that we're at 93, we're meeting our goal, we're at 93.43% of percentage of problems with solutions or workarounds. That means we're addressing problems, but by the book we're doing it completely wrong, right? But we're seeing a real world scenario here, and this is a common thing that we see with a lot of our clients. So now I think we have plenty of number cards here, and we may actually remove some of these in a minute if we have time. Let's go ahead and set our dashboard up to drill down a little further, and let's take a look at some products possibly. I think what I'll put in is a tree map. So let's go ahead and find product. Here we are, and I'm going to select product ID, or product name, excuse me. And now let's just look at total problem counts by product. So problems total, here we go. And I'm going to change this to a tree map. Perfect. There we are. Okay. All right. So now you see if any of these go blank, you can see that, like, if average time to create a solution goes blank on some of these products, that means that there's no solution found for any of the problems related to these products. And as you can see here, problems with solutions. So a lot of these just have workarounds. So that's helping us drill down a little further. If I can make a little room here, I can throw in a table to help drill down almost all the way to the grain. We'll get a little more information out of our data here, and I think we'll end up using up all our time for today after that. But let's go ahead and add a table. And let's throw in some more information. So let's look at product again. We'll keep this theme going. Oops. We'll do product name. And then we'll do another count, total problems. And then we can add, how about problems with workarounds? Sure. Or let's do average time to create a workaround. That'll stick with our trend. And I'll fix this in just a second. And also, oops, let's add how about a short description? There we are. We'll fill that in. And let's make a little room for our new table, if possible. Bear with me. This may not be the prettiest dashboard, but we are short on time. With just a few more minutes, we could definitely pretty this up. But this should work here for what we're trying to do. If I can grab this, there we are. All right, and now we can maybe add a couple more fields if we wanted to. Let's take a look at our KPI again, percentage of problems with solutions or workarounds. How about percentage of critical problems with solutions? Oops, I'm going to hit undo. Had the wrong widget selected. As you can see, that's easy to do in Power BI. Make a mistake, do not worry about it. This isn't permanent. And now I'm going to go over here to my values, and I'm going to move short description to the back or to the bottom, and that'll make it just look a little better. We can pull these numbers to the front further. Now you can see, let's see if we have any critical problems with solutions. So this is saying, okay, so 1.91% of our critical problems have solutions. That's pretty low. But anyway, this is all the time we have for today. I hope you were able to learn something from this, and this might give you a little insight into your own problem management process. And this is definitely a way to dive in to get some evidence and find some data to back up some assumptions you may have about your process or what is happening in your department in terms of problems and finding solutions and root causes and the use of workarounds. So again, this is Chris Yates with Northcraft Analytics. Feel free to leave a comment below if you have any questions, or reach out to us through our website at northcraftanalytics.com, and stay tuned for the next installment